Hi, what's up guys? We're here in Sicily on the beautiful rooftop that I was actually on roughly 10 months ago. And so on this call, I want to talk to you guys about show up rate. And it's an important and massive thing because in the beginning of your journey, you're going to want to define the numbers, define your first 10K month, define your first 5K month if you're at zero. And show up rate is a massive thing because if you have no one showing up to your sales calls after warm or cold outreach or whatever it is, you're not gonna close any deals. You're not gonna make any money, and that's fact. And so one of the most important things I've learned in sales on sales calls is nurturing the hell out of your prospects, bridging that trust gap so that when they do hop on this call and they do see all of your social proof, it's just simply them wanting to know the price and you closing the deal. That's it. But how do you bridge this gap? How do you warm up the prospect? How do you do everything I just spoke about? Because a lot of things are easier said than done. So let's talk about that. Now, initial point of outreach, Alex Hormozi's there's only 4 ways of outreach: cold outreach, warm outreach, paid ads, contents. Those 4, that's it. And so in the beginning, cold call, you're gonna wanna do that because it's about the skills. As I mentioned every single time I think on all of my videos, it is about the skills, and you're gonna wanna go through the trenches because you are the investment at the end of the day. So from these 4, either 4, mostly in the beginning, cold outreach, then you book them to a meeting through Calendly or Zoom or whatever it is that you have, get their contacts, get their email, get their numbers, get the name of their company, create automations on the back end. I'm not gonna go into the specifics of that unless you guys want me to. Sure, go ahead, I can make a video on that as well. But get their basic information, and then in Calendly have automations, sending email reminders, sending SMS reminders, while also dropping links to a VSL. And on this VSL, you're going to have to display and show authority through social proof by creating a video about the work that you've done and some of the testimonials and things of that sort, and making sure that the prospect watches it. And that's why after your setting call, the 2 important things that you emphasize at the end is make sure you click yes to the invitation so that you show up, and make sure you watch the video and go through the social proof that we have on the VSL that you attach in the automations and they get via email and SMS. Now, this is extremely important because if they do go onto your website, if they do watch the video, if they do look through all of your social proof, they're a high intent prospect who just simply needs to get that consistent lead flow and is willing to kind of work with you, right? But it's just a matter of like when they hop on these calls, if you're pitching right, if you're doing the discovery right, if they trust you. And so going back to the point of this video though, Calendly, after you cold call, get their basic information, put them into an automation, email, SMS, follow-up reminders, and then also call yourself roughly 30 minutes to an hour before and just call to confirm that they're going to be there. 2 really important things, guys, is that you don't want these prospects taking calls on job sites or while they're driving. And if you do hop on a call with them, which actually literally just happens right now, a prospect hopped on the call, he was driving, and so one of the ways I went about rebooking is, yeah, his name was Timmy. So I was like, yeah, Timmy, to be honest, man, I don't take these calls while people like you ring. Oh my God, fucking wind. This thing almost just fell over. Okay, so Timmy, I don't take these calls while prospects like you are driving or at job sites, because what I do is serious. I take my profession extremely seriously. I'm managing money, getting my clients consistent lead flow. And so there's a problem going on and we're gonna need to fix it, both you and I. So let's tackle this thing head on. Be behind the computer, pen and paper, let's do this. Are you free tomorrow, same time? Yeah, sure, okay, and then you rebook. That's it. It's pretty simple, couple minutes there. And people buy from people who I said in the past likes, but it's actually respects. And people buy from people who they respect, not just like. Yeah, of course it's cool to be a likable person, you know, like I've kept people around just because I like being with them, but I eventually, you know, sometimes I let people go. So people buy from people who they respect, and you have to tell these prospects what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. I made several mistakes in the beginning of all of my sales calls about validating their emotions and basically agreeing and yesing them to death, but that only boosts their ego, that only boosts their own delusion on these calls, and you can't allow that to happen. Hopefully if I take my hands away, this shit doesn't fall over. But yeah, guys, so on sales calls, people buy from people who they respect. Make sure they're not driving or at job sites, because this is serious. What you're doing isn't a joke, because think about it. Adapting the identity of the person that you want to become long-term. What is that version of yourself who's making 100K a month doing? Are they taking sales calls with prospects that aren't paying attention or half-assing it? No, absolutely not. And so every time I've ever faced a bottleneck, I always ask myself, what is that version of myself? Who is everything I've ever desired? What type of decisions are they making right now? And it's basically putting myself into binary persona, and so having to make the decisions that person would make right now, because every time I make a decision like that person, I just get closer and closer and closer to them. So, point of this video: show up rate, automations, VSL. Let them go through it. Make sure that they do go through it. Confirm it. Ask about it on the sales calls in the beginning if you like. You don't have to, and I can't emphasize enough show up rate. I just went through a terrible patch of show up rates for the past couple of weeks, like brutally awful, less than 20%, absolute shit. But it's like, okay, there's a reason for this. It's not just a one day or 1 week thing because it was a prolonged problem. And I said to myself, okay, what the fuck is going on? Let me just audit everything I have going on and let's fix this thing. And I redid my VSL, I redid my site, I redid a couple things, the automations, and hopefully it's going to work. But it's also about the speed of things too. If I just let it happen, the problem would have persisted and continued. And that's the last thing you need to happen, because the company isn't going to grow until you grow, because you are the bottleneck, whether it's limiting beliefs, skill sets, etc., whatever it is. And that's why most of these companies that we take calls with, the prospect is typically the bottleneck of the company because of their delusion, their external limiting beliefs, whether it's the economy or the market, right? When you ask them certain questions, they kind of go into their limiting beliefs. But you have to handle those, and you need to tell the prospects what they need to hear, like I just said earlier, not what they want to hear. So I hope this video helps in just dropping some sauce on show up rate, how to get people to show, what to do, and some of the automations there. Now, it's not really that technical. I'm not behind my computer showing you everything, but if you just take the information and apply it, or if you have any questions, just let me know. But we are here for a week, and then we are headed to Albania with 3 other agency owners who are all doing 10K a month, and we're gonna scale. So, hope this helps, and I will see you guys. All right, bye.